Okay, thank you. This presentation, I'm just going to walk through the software, the database again. So I'm just gonna sign in now. The system has a two-pin authentication code system that will be used by the users. The first one is the OTP password that is usually sent to a mobile phone, a designated mobile number that the user uses. So for presentation purposes, I've just got it on the screen for now. Stepping through with this system here, I've already logged in. This is the main data, the dashboard of the system, the FSVU information management system. In an information management system, it is used basically to track workflow and work processes of an organization. So for this one, for FSVU, it has been built ground up and specific to the work processes that the FSVU does in a day. So to start off with, like at any one time, the officer comes in, the officer logs in into the system. And if there's the first case that comes in for the day, they have to create and manage a victim account. In this screen here, as you can see, is the screen where you manage victims. And so we've got two that are recorded. It's just trial data that's sitting here. So when you come to add a victim, the officer clicks on the blue add victim button. It takes them to this particular screen now. In this screen, you take down the details of the victim, the name, everything from starting from name to gender, date of birth, contact details, NID number if there is any. And you also upload an image of the victim. You proceed further on to take down the details of the home province of origin, where the victim is from. Residential address is where the victim resides. Employment details, you start taking employment data. There are three choices to choose from. You've got formal employment, informal sector, and you have unemployed. So depending on which employment choice the victim chooses or is in, you select this one. Like so for formal employment, you get the right details of where the victim is working, where they are employed. It gives you details of who the employer is, where the employer is located. You get personal details for the victim as well. You get height, weight, any distinguishing body marks, blood group, and emergency contact details as well. Once all that information is filled, you click Add Victim button here, and you add the victim into the system. Once that is done, the victim account is now created, it's completed, and you move on to create and manage cases. When it comes to create a case, you click on the register new case button here, and you go in from there to add details of the perpetrator. Same thing has to be collected from the perpetrator as well. Personal details, you upload an image, you collect information of province of origin, residential address, almost basically the same details that you've collected from the victim, but this time it's the details of the perpetrator. Moving forward, all the way down to emergency contact details, everything. All these details once collected, you will see this. You come to this sworn statement of victim. Date of the event, when the event happened. You key in time, place of event, and you select what type of offense was committed. So you can select from sexual offenses, sexual penetration, and all these other from the drop-down list, depending on the case that is being presented at that time. That's that. Or if it is a criminal offense, you select that different case offenses that comes up, what group it goes into. So you select that depending on the case as it is presented. Description of the violence is basically you get a description of what has happened from the victim. So you key in the details here. And then you're moving on, come down to what caused the Domestic Violence Act, the different reasons that causes rise to GBV cases or violence acts. And these are some of the reasons that we have on the drop-down list here. This list is not exhaustible. It can be expanded on in future. Next thing you do, you select the court where the case is going to be presented to, which court you're sending the victim to Boroko, Waigani, or Port Moresby. This is basically for Port Moresby at the moment. We will be including all the other courts around the country as the system progresses. Here you see wish to apply for the following orders. The victim decides to apply for a restraining order. They click one of these boxes here on the action that would be taken. And moving on, you see who is the IPO protection order for. Sometimes it is usually for the spouse only, or it could be for the spouse including children. And you can add names of additional people who will be included in the IPO as well here. Once all that information is collected, you click register case and you move on to registering the case. So we've now registered the victim account, created a victim's account, we've registered the case, and we'll move on to managing the case now. In manage cases, you will see it takes you to this screen here. So we'll go through this. I'll just step through the case here, one of the cases here. So we go click view detail. So you see we got court action and court documents up here. This is where you come in to select what forms to be completed for the IPO application. The first one usually that the police officer completes at that time is the Form 1 authorization to apply for an IPO. Click on that, system automatically pre-fills a form for you, and it's the form is comes up as a PDF form which has to be printed out and signed for lodgement with the courts. So that moving on. At the bottom, I'll take you to this add file notes. This add file notes section allows the officer to record progress of the case, management of the case. If a case has been opened, evidence need to be collected. They click on one of these options here. They make a note, description, and they submit and they track the case. In cases where IPOs have been granted, they click on this one. And when the date comes up, here is when the IPO is being tracked. So system is able to track the IPO from here and can be able to flag it and alert the officers if the IPO is due for renewal or not. So that's that. So in this is where you screen where you manage the cases. You can have a print case history here. You can print case histories as well for this one. Going back to orders and management of cases, we have external referral partners. In the event where a victim needs to be sent in for medical examination, this is the screen that you come to. You select where the organization, where you're sending the victim to, and you submit an email, shooting an email straight from the system, alerting the healthcare facility that they'll be expecting a victim that's coming through from FSVU, being referred by FSVU. That's for medical cases. As you can see here, I'm coming back to the external referral partners. We have medical examination, we have safe houses. If a victim needs to be going to a safe house, you need to select this one. Give the details of the victim, select the organization whom you're sending the victim to, and the system tracks the victim, where the victim is going from the FSVU office. Going forward, same goes for all the other external referral partners as well, for counseling, repatriation services, legal aid, and Department of Welfare. In an integrated system, we'd like to see modules created for all these external referral partners, so the FSVU system can be able to communicate in between systems and for ease and management of cases. At the bottom here, you will see external referral partners, internal referral partners, sorry. That's the Sexual Offences Squad and the Criminal Investigation Department. These are internal police partners that deal with cases that the FSVU are unable to prosecute. Say, for example, criminal investigation cases. You come click on that, and the FSVU creates a crime report here. Once the crime report is created, it's sent off to the CID for prosecution or for handling of the case. So that's that with the cases, how you manage your case with all the referral pathways within the system. Moving forward, we have management reports here. In management reports, depending on the user levels of accounts that users use within the system, the management can be able to sit down and click and extract reports from the system as to what type of reports they have. We have over 60 different report templates that are already in place that can be still expanded depending on what management needs. That's that. With FSVU stations, that is when you come to add new police stations, FSVU stations around the country. You can click add a station here, and in this screen you add the police stations. Where the police station is located, click add FSVU station. You've created a system. You've created now the FSVU station. Once that is done, you go ahead to creating stuffs to go in and fill the stations. We have different user accounts for security of the data that is there. So certain offices have permissions to access certain reports, certain areas of the database. The officer working in Boroko is only able to see Boroko cases. That particular officer will be able to see the OB book for Boroko only and won't be able to see Gordon's or Badile. Whereas for the directorate can be able to see all the FSVU offices around the country. And if it goes up to hierarchy as well, hierarchy will be able to see reports and data coming out from all areas around the country that they have access to. So that's with user accounts and user rights. We've got a system here for add courts, manage courts. In this screen here, you add different courts that will be dealing with cases and for which court IPO applications will be sent to. We've got here Port Moresby, Waigani, and Boroko at the moment for NCD. Eventually, we'll add all the other courts around the country to cover for all the FSV offices within PNG. So this is the screen you go to add the courts. So stepping back through, we're coming back to the occurrence book. This occurrence book here will only, if an officer signs in from Boroko, that particular officer will only see the occurrence book for Boroko and not any other FSV unit. If an officer signs in from Gordon's, that officer will only see Gordon's. If the FSVU director, Madam Sandeka logs in, she'll be able to see occurrence book for FSVs around the country. At any one time during the day, data is live up to the minute, meaning that anytime the FSVU hierarchy or management login, they'll be able to see the occurrence books for all the FSVU provinces around the country or around each province, depending on what province and office they select up here. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the FSVU information management system. Thank you.